8:30 Eastern Time on ESPN, and coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown delivered by UPS. Riding along here with the 0-1 car, our leading Rebestis Rookie of the Year contender, Regan Smith.
You can see he's struggling a little bit there. You see Tony Stewart up just ahead of him. Dave Blaney having another good run here at Dover.
Well, you have a bad handling car at Dover, it can be a long day.
Whew. Told you that. Yeah, there was my pick. Yeah, glad we didn't get to those. It was Travis Quaffles who I had picked. I thought he was going to, with Todd Parrott at the helm, I thought they were going to poised to have a pretty good day here. They looked good in practice yesterday, but Andy, just you said, these race cars change so much whenever, especially whenever you get a little bit of temperature to the racetrack.
It seems like these crew chiefs have to make decisions on Saturday night of what to do to their car. Even if they're good, they've got to decide, you know, what we're going to do on Sunday because the tracks do change so much.
Here comes Mr. Biffle in the 16 car. We saw these two, Biffle and the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, battling the last few weeks, specifically at California 3 weeks ago.
Biffle's got a good race car now. I think they've made a couple of adjustments on that car. You can see him coming. He's able to pass cars. He's got it right on the bottom for the majority of the time. Looks like it turns really good, and that's going to be important as this track continues to rubber up.
All these Roush cars are really good today. Matt Kenseth leading the race.
Yeah, Biffle could hardly contain himself at NASCAR Countdown when they were down there talking with Brad and Rusty and Alan about how good the car. He didn't want to tell them how good the car was. They finally got it out of him.
Yeah, they just finally drug it out of him. They tied him down and wouldn't let him get out of there until he finally admitted just how good that car was. You can see him up top here and trying to get a good run off of there. Dave, what's Biffle saying now?
Well, DJ, I had a similar conversation with Greg Irwin about being on the radar now. I know Rusty asked him that question, and I said, do you feel it? He goes, oh, yeah, we feel it. We really thought that this was going to be our breakout weekend, so we kind of expected to be on the radar here. But remember, last week at Loudon, that was a surprise to them. That was a bonus because traditionally they haven't run well there, and it was a great way to start the chase.
Well, it's nice when you get those little bonuses, you know, places you're just thinking about that, hey, let's go here, and if we can come out with a pretty good day, things would be great. Then we've got Dover and Kansas coming up. What these guys do, they went out and won the race at Loudon, and now they've got Dover and Kansas still coming. Possibility of, if not a victory, running in the top 5, all 3 of those.
What was a term Brad Daugherty used? The stars are all lining up for people. You know, he was using that talking about Kansas, but it isn't bad for that 16 car because of going back to where he won a year ago at Kansas.
You can see Jimmy Johnson, yeah, just pull over and let Biffle go. He knows it's a fast race car, and he might also say, I might be able to pick something up here. See what makes him that much faster. Is he doing something different on the track?
Biffle is moving forward with the 88 car, and he is not so fortunate. He's headed back. Jamie.
That's right. He qualified 10th. It wasn't a bad run on Friday. Yesterday, he was fastest in the morning practice. They thought they had a top 10 car, but that certainly hasn't been the case today.
Have to
right
guess.
now, it's really, really loose. Chatter to right where you're everywhere. Guys, do the best you can. I think I am right now.
And you hear a little bit different tone than we heard last weekend from Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said, I'm doing the best I can. He said, hey, if I can go back to last weekend and do it over, I would keep things in perspective and wouldn't have said the harsh things I said on the radio. And he's certainly working on that today, guys, as they're overcoming adversity, sitting 25th.
Well, I think he's just fighting some grip, and we heard him talk about not getting that right rear end. And, you know, we've talked about this a lot about what Dale Jr. said last week. Hey, this young man's just competitive. He just has a lot of fire in him, and sometimes you say those things. You know, it's been said in this sport for a long time, a lot of radio communication. It's just that now everybody hears it. It used to be that just the race teams heard that, and the rest of the public and the rest of the race world didn't hear all of that, Andy.
I'm glad they didn't hear some of my conversations with some of my drivers.
And also the fact that it's his cousin, Tony Eury Jr., who's the crew chief, and they are just blatantly honest with each other because they grew up together as youngsters playing in the playgrounds and now at the racetracks. Matt Kenseth, our leader, back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Just past a quarter distance in today's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at Dover, Delaware. Our coverage presented by Principal Financial Group. Matt Kenseth is leading, but he's in some heavy lap traffic, and Jamie McMurray in the 26 is starting to run him down as we work here at lap number 111 of the 400. Rusty, you've been watching the lap times on the leader, Matt Kenseth, as this green flag run is going along. They went back green about 40 laps ago.
Yeah, I guess the thing I'm really amazed about, Alan, is that the tires are doing a great job out there, but it's kind of old school. They're really falling off a lot, and I really like that. I like it when you have tire fall off. Cars can change lanes and do things like that. But you know what it really means, though, is that on a restart, you better get it while those tires are good. If you got to pass somebody, get it done real fast, strike while the tires are got the most speed. But that's one thing I'm noticing. They're having more fall off today than they had yesterday.
I'll tell you what, Matt's had his hands full trying to put Robbie Gordon in that 7 car lap down. Robbie right now is running as the last car on the lead lap or the first car lap down, depending on where he and Matt Kenseth cross the finish line in relation to each other. And Matt's been trying for about 7 or 8 laps to clear that 7 car. And Robbie Gordon just doesn't want to give it up.
Robbie Gordon's one of the toughest guys to pass. He's a real hard-nosed competitor. Right now, he's just trying to stay in that lead lap, and that's what he's got to do, just drive his guts out. But he's got to be conscious. That's one of the chase guys behind him.
And so that has brought Jamie McMurray up to challenge for the lead. Doc, top 2, nose to tail.
McMurray, who was so good early on, has now run down his teammate. And about 4 car length separation and inside of traffic there. And Robbie Gordon does not want to go a lap down. I don't blame him.
He's giving these guys a fit.
Yeah, they've let Mark Martin catch up there, too. That's our top 3 right there. Matt Kenseth, Jamie McMurray, Mark Martin. Robbie Gordon's not doing anything wrong. It just makes it difficult because Matt Kenseth's car is good on the bottom, but he can't get that run off the corner. You can see him get up beside him right here. He just can't get enough to throw. Robbie slipped right there, and I think Matt's going to clear him right at this point in time.
And as you said, now
yeah, didn't quite get him.
Oh, baby.
I believe he's going to have it, though. As he gets through the center of the corner, he should be able to beat him off of this corner.
Might be able to use one of these guys in front as a pick. I believe he's got him now.
Yeah, McMurray going to try to follow beneath the 7 car. He can't get underneath him. Now, right in front of this battle, it's a 15 and 21. These are the cars trying to stay on the lead lap. Marcos Ambrose and Paul Menard. They are 26th and 27.
They're not going to give up this fight easily. They want to stay on the lead lap.
No, and it makes it really difficult when you get to a place like this, and how difficult it is. You can see Matt Kenseth try to get back to the gas. See Mark Martin take the 2nd spot away. Matt's having a hard time up front of him right there. Just trying to get by Marcus Ambrose, but especially when you get with guys you haven't been used to racing with. Marcus Ambrose hasn't run a lot of these type races, and that makes it difficult, not knowing exactly what they're going to do on the racetrack and how much room they're going to give you.
Don't look now, but the 99's also moving in on these guys. Carl Edwards now moving in for there's him on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to move in on the 8 car of Mark Martin and the 26 of McMurray.
And you pointed out just a minute ago that looking at lap times that 99 was pretty quick there, and I know that the 17's been in some traffic, but Carl's been coming. He's right on the bottom and digging.
And Mark Martin's the only one that can split up these Roush cars.
Kenseth holding on to the lead. Matt Kenseth has now led once for 53 laps and Mark a little bit of a wiggle.
Now Jamie McMurray up on the outside of Mark Martin. Is he going to have enough room, or are these guys going to block him in?
More on Carl Edwards. Jamie.
Well, Doc, right before you guys commented on Carl Edwards' fast lap time, he came on the radio and said, Bob, it's pretty good. I just wish we were a bit faster. He said, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. I just, trying to think about the end of the race where we can excel. He just moved up to 3rd, Doc.
He was turning some great lap times, and now they got to be very careful as Edwards trying to get underneath the 8 car. Mark Martin has nothing to lose. He is not a chase contender. He will be next year. He wants to run 1 year for the championship in 2009.
You can see the different lines that all these guys are taking. We got the 2 and the 7 up at the very top as Mark Martin finally clears Robbie Gordon. Carl Edwards hasn't done that yet. These guys, as they get to the corners, they just fan out. You got cars to the bottom, to the middle, and to the top of this racetrack. So just trying to find some grip and where they can get the most speed out of their race car.
Look at that quarter panel flapping on Kurt Busch's car. Looks like it's secure, but it sure is waving in the wind.
We just joined our coverage. Kurt was involved in a little shunt in lap 2. Got a little tap from the 38 car, a little slide from David Gilliland, and his car went into the wall. And the 2 car now being shown a lap down in 27th position. 121 laps are in the books. Matt Kenseth has now led the last 56 laps after a great pit stop by the guys on pit road.
Matt Kenseth continues to lead as we run under green here at Dover. Our AT&T Crew Chief Challenge this week. Which past winner at Dover will get another win today? Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, or Greg Biffle? All good candidates to play. Text the word crew to 191 on your AT&T wireless phone and send in your answer. Results later in the race. Standard text rate applies. Jeff Gordon running 5th right now. Carl Edwards is running in 4th. Kyle Busch and Greg Biffle also running solidly up near the front of the field. Right now, let's take you up to speed, presented by Ford. Mike, you take away with the leader.
Yeah, and he's been real quiet on the racetrack as well. Not complaining one bit. Early in the race, he said it was a little bit loose, but real happy with the race car right now. They made some left side adjustments last time down pit road. After that stop, they said they could continue to work in that direction to make it better. He's still a little loose, as you saw off the corner there, but that car looks pretty stout, Dave.
His teammate runs in second, Jamie McMurray. All 4 Roush cars in the top 10. A clue. Larry Carter told me this morning they come here with a baseline setup they all use, then they tweak it to the driver's liking. Driver 26 likes right now, Jamie.
And Mark Martin behind him likes his car too, says he's a bit free, but he can run with it. They are focusing on not over-adjusting this car. They want to wait until 100 laps to go, and then they'll worry about the issues. Behind him, Carl Edwards. He gets up next to Mark Martin, and then he has to back up. They've been battling it out for that 3rd place position for quite some time now. Carl Edwards, though, having a pretty good run considering he picked up some of that damage from that earlier wreck. He started 22nd right now, runs for it, Dave.
Jeff Gordon restarted second, has fallen back to the 5th position. He says, my car rotates in the middle, then it just continues to rotate all the way off the corner. So that's what they're going to have to work on this next pit stop. Greg Biffle continuing to drive his way back up through the field after an earlier pit stop. Lost him track position. The car's still very good, just a hair tight for Biffle right now, according to the driver. Shannon?
Dave, it was just moments ago that David Rudiman lost that 6th place spot to Greg Biffle. Right now, there is no comments over the 44 radio. The only voice you hear is that of the spotter. He made no changes on that car in the last run. He said it was started off tight and then it began to loosen up. And this is a surprising run for this team because crew chief told me that the car was just okay. This car looks a lot better than just okay. Mike?
Jimmy Johnson very specific when he was breaking down how the car was handling in the corners. Said he was tight in turns 1 and 2 and a little bit tight at the apex of 3 and 4. They're trying to get the car a little bit better next time down pit road. Look for a track bar adjustment on the 48 car. But they are pretty happy, but they know they have room for improvement. Meanwhile, the 07 of Clint Boyer, that car started off tight. They made a right side air pressure adjustment last time down pit road. The car has remained tight. Gil Martin has told Clint to keep the car as much in the black as possible. Stay in the rubber otherwise. That's the only way it's going to help that car, Dave.
Mike, Kyle Busch started this one in 12th, has picked up 2 positions, and then just kind of stalled right there. Looking for rhythm, he asked his spotter to tell him where the leader was and where he was in relation to him so he could try to find faster times around this track. Alan?
All right, David, thanks. We went back to green on lap 69. We were about to equal the longest run on tires in this race that some of these drivers have made. Green flag pit stops, not all that far away.